You recall a few days ago I did a video on Kirsty and that thing that she came out with saying, everybody could afford to buy their own home if they stopped their Netflix subscriptions, their gym membership, and stopped buying their coffees from overpriced coffee shops like Costa and Starbucks and all the rest of them. And you probably got the impression I was none too pleased with what she came out with and didn't really agree with her. Well, I thought I'd have a look around and see what you could buy for your money, and you'd be amazed. How do everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Last thing on a Friday. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad. I've got an early one to Heathrow in the morning. Some more airport work for me. Well, I'll be back with a live stream tomorrow, the daily chat with Andy, the Cabby, and more content thereafter. But for today, this is it. The last one, kaput. And let's talk about Kirsty Allsop. Well, as you recall from the video, I took issue with what she said, because house prices are not cheap and you don't get for your money what you could have done 10, 20 years ago. That much is very certain. It's true, the further north you get, the cheaper properties become. I've got no argument with that. It's more than obvious. I have a friend of mine that used to run an airport transfer business, and he lived a couple of miles from me. He sold up. He had enough to move back up to Manchester way, where he came from, buy a house outright, money in the bank, happy retirement, happy days. So it's worked out for him. But being in a situation where you possibly got to move to buy a property of your own isn't ideal. What if you're near relatives that need you, or you're near relatives that you depend on, for example? You just can't move. It's not always practical for everybody, and therefore there are pockets of people all over the place that get stuck in situations where the house prices just are not affordable. There's no two ways about it. Well, I had a look, and have a look at this news article. So this thing, it's a tiny studio flat in Chingford, and it's up for 200,000 quid. And by all accounts, you can only get to the bed by climbing up a ladder, which is in the middle of the blooming living room by the looks of it. Have a look at this picture. Crazy, isn't it? Could you imagine going up there and getting a bit excited? You could probably shake the thing loose from the rafters and come crashing down to earth with a bump. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't know who thought of that design. They probably thought of everything else and forgot the bed, so they thought they'd stick it in the roof for good measure. But all joking apart, I think that place is a converted cattle shed or something like that, or a converted garage, which happens a lot. But 200 grand, you see what I mean? If you sat at home with mum, somebody like me with bills and rent and everything, 200 grand is just not going to happen. But if you're at home with mum and squirreling a little bit away, you're going to probably have a car, a mobile phone, and maybe a bit of keep to pay to your parents. You're going to be at home a very, very long time for 200 grand, and for what? But then that's where the move up north comes in, but it's not applicable to everybody. Just to put it into perspective as well, I owned, I suppose, what you could call a studio flat back in the early 2000s. 50 grand I paid for it at the time. And I'm not ashamed to admit I lost it when the recession bit in the 2009, 2010. And I've seen that same flat up now for more than double what I paid for it. It's 120, 130,000 pound last time I saw it. So it's not as easy as it appears, Kirsty. It isn't. More important, I think when you're young and you have a chance at starting well in life, you've got to work fucking hard, squirrel away, and get the best job you could possibly get. Or, it's an unfortunate fact that it may not happen. It's as simple as that. Things would have to change quite majorly. Prices, rental prices, all sorts. It really is a bad situation for those that want their own home. It's just out of control. It really is. Anyway, I'm off. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. I know there's not a lot left, probably 30 minutes, and we're into Saturday. Way! So, yeah, have a good sleep, I suppose will be the thing. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow afternoon. Daily chat and a bit more content later in the day. Toodaloo.